Are you, or do you know, someone who is preparing for a divorce? Your or their home is probably, statistically, the biggest asset they own. What happens to the home in the process of a divorce? There is generally both equity and debt that must be dealt with. In this video, I will provide you with information that should bring clarity to you in regards to the process of what happens to your home during a divorce. This is Joseph Nelson with the Ascend Home team. Okay, as your realtor during a divorce, I represent both of you. And no, this is not dual agency because you are still one party. I'm not representing a buyer, I'm representing two people who own a home, and you may have different goals and expectations. So what now? First, know that in dealing with folks in the process of a divorce, my ethics do not allow me to represent a buyer. No, I can only represent you. Attorneys just can't wrap their head around dual agency, which is representing a buyer and seller on the same transaction. Normally, in many cases, I would do this, but not during a divorce. So I will not add to the negative dynamics that exist and complexities by representing both you and a buyer. And I have some special training in regards to dealing with people in a confrontational setting. The book titled, "So What Is Your Proposal?" is a good starting point. The subtitle is Shifting High Conflict People from Blaming to Problem Solving in 30 Seconds. And this was written by an attorney that deals with this all the time. So the ability of the realtor to be able to navigate the emotional issues and differing goals will allow you for the quickest possible recovery. And after all, quick recovery is the key to moving forward in your life. So next, you may ask, as a Christian man, why are you making a video on selling your home during a divorce? Well, unfortunately, around 50% of marriages do end in divorce, and I went through one myself. But what makes me especially qualified for working with clients during a divorce is my high degree of compassion for the situation that they are in. You won't find me to be legalistic or condemning, and I won't be taking sides, and don't expect me to. That is your attorney's job. My job is to find common ground between you in a mediation style relationship. And I realize it only takes one hardened heart to kill a marriage. But realize I am not here to find fault. In fact, as a realtor representing the both of you, I must ride the fence and be an advocate for both of you. And don't hold that against me. Your attorneys are focused solely on one party and the other. So I work hard to make both of you feel like you are not getting the short end of the stick. And this is not an easy job. In many cases, there is little or no unity in a divorce. That's why I am an advocate for unity. On the surface, it's pretty simple. You need to sell your home for as much as possible and split the proceeds and eliminate shared debt. An appraisal may be requested by one of your attorneys. I am not an appraiser. I can give you an opinion of value. Many times appraisals are based on the fact that we have a willing buyer and a willing seller agreeing on a price. When we sell a home, whoever's buying the home, their lender is generally going to require an appraisal. On my latest listing, the appraisal's comment was, all the homes in the subject neighborhood have been selling at or above asking price. And this was the primary basis for his appraisal. And the listing price starts with an opinion of value on my part. Anyway, an opinion of value may be adequate rather than paying for an appraisal. And appraisals and opinions of value have a very short shelf life. In today's economy, a month or two. Right now, the market is changing at light speed. You know, in rare cases, one party may be able to just cash out the other party without selling the home. But this is rare, and this process does not require a realtor. Your attorney or a title company can help with the details of changing ownership with a deed. Now, the nice thing about utilizing a title company is that they are generally cheaper than using attorneys to do this. And the other big benefit is they, like me, they are a third neutral party representing both of you. So generally, we're going to have less conflict if the details of deed transfer are handled by an escrow company rather than one of your attorneys. You know, it's only human nature that while we're married, we buy the best and biggest home we can buy. And this is based on the resources from both parties. So now that we're looking at having separate lives, we also will have separate finances. Most individuals will have a difficult time maintaining that family home on their own. So 90% of the time that home will have to be sold. Now the good news is, in this market, home prices are really high and you should both come away with some significant equity. This money can be used to buffer hard times ahead or to buy a smaller home that fits your needs as an individual. So at some point, one of the attorneys will suggest that you sell your home. And if you can't come to an agreement on that, at a later date, the judge will assign you a realtor to sell your home. So that's where I come in. It's really a crapshoot what you're going to get when a judge assigns a realtor. I love people. I think all parties will feel that I am supporting them and I am their trusted advisor. Nothing happens without unity in the sale of your home unless the judge orders it, and then you will lose a lot of control. So, what kind of things do we need to come to unity on? First, that would be the listing contract. You both will need to sign it. We need to know the sales price, the move-out date, and this is negotiable with the buyer. But if one of you are going to retain the home for a period of time, after it closes, you'll have to pay rent. So do we have time to address some improvements to the home before it hits the market, or is this going to be a fire sale? Even in a divorce, I have a program which can address the needed repairs and even improvements and remodeling items, even like a roof, paint job, remove an oil tank that's still in the ground, refinish the hardwood floors, or even just simple stuff like some touch-up of the trim, some curb appeal of the front yard. All these things can be addressed if we have the time to get it done, and the payment for this can come out of closing. Having to agree with each other about how much each of you are going to pay for needed repairs is another point of contention that we can avoid altogether. So general advice comments about divorce, and some of this comes from personal experience. Remember that when we fight each other, the only ones who win are the attorneys. They are more than happy to disagree on your behalf, and this will cost both of you money. Make sure what you disagree and fight about is important. Stuff, regardless of how important you think it is still stuff. It can be replaced. In the long run, you will spend more money fighting over stuff in attorney fees than that stuff is worth. After my divorce, I went on a personal quest to replace everything that I lost in the divorce. I thought it would make me feel whole again, but after a while I realized that this process was not really healing either. What really matters is family and people. Stuff can be replaced. Now again, working with me, I work diligently for unity. I have decades of experience of making the best of bad situations, working with both parties separately, but yet with unity. I don't take sides. I look at the home from a third-party perspective. So the good news is, again, both of you will probably come away with a significant amount of money from the sale of your home. But getting back to the rare situations where one party will retain ownership of the home by themselves, generally you're going to need a new mortgage. It is rare that one party is going to retain possession of the home and the other party is going to remain on the mortgage. And I don't recommend this. So do you have enough equity in the home to have an affordable mortgage on your own? Especially since interest rates have climbed to around 5%. But there's some good news. With 6 months of payment history of alimony or child support, you can use these as qualifying income for a mortgage. The bad news is you'll need those 6 months in order to use that to qualify for the mortgage. So what happens during that 6 months? Is your spouse willing to give you 6 months and remain on the mortgage? If one payment is missed, this may negatively affect your ability to get your next mortgage. So realistically, most people are going to have to sell their home and move somewhere else and potentially even rent an apartment. Some more good news. With a divorce decree, you can get qualified for a cash-out refinance of up to 95% of the home value. This means you could take out of a $500,000 mortgage about $450,000 in mortgage value. The problem is you're going to have to qualify for that 95% cash out. We can do all kinds of magic in the lending industry as far as down payment, credit score, etc. But I have no solution for having to qualify with income for your payment on the home. If the payments are $3,000 a month, you need to qualify for $3,000 a month. But hold the phone. We can use investments to help qualify you for getting pre-qualified for buying a new home. This gets a little more complicated, and every case is different and unique. So contact me and I will put you in touch with one of my referral partners, a mortgage broker, to help evaluate your personal situation. Speaking of which, I have a number of referral partners. These include, and this list is not all inclusive, divorce attorneys, probate attorneys, 1031 exchange specialists, estate attorneys, financial planners, CPAs, accountants, insurance agents, assisted living managers, mortgage brokers, home inspectors, roofers, landscapers, etc. But in regards to this conversation, I have a great mortgage broker who would be worth a conversation with to find out exactly where you stand in regards to buying your next home. But again, if you're planning on staying in your home, you will not need me, a realtor, to accomplish this. But I'm always happy to talk and advise folks even if they don't think they're going to need my services. And the most fortunate are going to have sufficient assets, cash on hand in bank accounts, savings, investments, etc., to cash out and remain in the home by themselves. But this is quite rare. The reality for most, and I'm talking about 90% of you, will have to sell the marital home. And this brings up another issue. If you sell the home and you don't reinvest into a new home, check with your CPA or financial advisor about whether you may be liable for capital gains taxes. In most cases, on an individual level, you are exempt on $250,000 worth of gains or $500,000 as a marital couple. But again, check with your CPA. And as in real estate, if it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. And this is true about your divorce decree as well. It needs to be stipulated if there are capital gains to be paid, who is responsible for those. Laws are always changing, and our government leaders are always looking for new ways to increase their taxing authority. Make sure you get current advice and not rely on advice you heard 5 years ago. Now, for the side paying child support or alimony, some mortgage products will allow you to not count child support and alimony as debt, but rather allow you to reduce your income by that amount. And many times reducing income is more favorable than having the debt. So even for the party paying, there may be some help available. So with that, I hope this video helps to bring some clarity to this situation. I'm always happy to take a call and offer my advice in selling your home in a divorce. What price could you expect to get for your home? Question mark. How difficult or easy, or how long is it going to take to sell your home? Question mark. But the selling part is easy. You need to figure out where your next residence is going to be, whether that's buying another home or renting for a period of time. Even in the best of situations, when people are moving up, retiring, downsizing, etc., my question is always, do you have figured out where you are going? That should be answered before you sell your home. And remember, here on YouTube, I have absolutely no way to contact you. I won't pressure you. You don't need that. I only want to be your trusted advisor and be here for when you need me. But contacting me sooner than later is always going to make the process faster and net you more money for your home. Make the process easier and more peaceful. All of my contact information is shown below each video in the Show More section. And with that, I am waiting for your text, call, or email. Thank you.